David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. 1,000. 1,000. That's a big number. That's how many YouTube videos I've done. In fact, this is my 1,000th video on YouTube. And it's been an amazing journey. In some ways, it's been a long journey, but such a rewarding journey. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And so this is going to be a sort of a multi-level James Bond discussion. Let's just sort of take it all in, because I did some quick analytics before I started to hit record, and I needed my cheat sheet. So on my channel with 1,000 videos, not including this one, I've had 16.7 million views from people. 16.7 million views. Those people, God bless them, have watched 1.7 million hours of the Bond Experience. 1.7 shorts, live streams, shows, locations, style, movies, you name it, they've watched it. And yeah, you're doing it again. And then finally, 215 million impressions. Those are some big numbers. But I want to break it down, because it's very simple and very easy to say, you know something, 1,000 videos, it's a number, it's math, it's a lot. I get it, it's prolific. Now, if you know anything about my channel, you know that I have a minimum of 2 videos that come out on YouTube a week. I've kept this consistency for quite a long time. A lot of it has to do with my own creative itch that needs to be scratched just down there. No, actually right here. It's this creative itch that I have all of these ideas, even in this self-professed Bond drought, that I want to put out there into the atmosphere. I want to put out into the public, put before you. And because of that, 2 videos a week is sort of my number. Could it be 3? I guess that's really pushing it. And this is part-time for me. And I don't know if everybody realizes that, but after 1,000 videos, I wanted to do a little bit of an education. This is not my full-time job, though it seems it. It's pretty prolific. My full-time job is I'm the president of a pharmaceutical advertising and marketing agency. That's what I do from this hour to that hour to make my money, to put food on my table. It is not this. This is my wonderful and very engaging and very focused hobby. And after 1,000 videos, I want people to realize that, because it takes a lot of fuel to do this. And I'm not talking about my own discipline and fuel. I'm talking about fuel from you. The feedback that I've had from all the subscribers, all the viewers, the audience that I have, the contributors to my channel, is what fuels me on a regular basis, especially when there isn't James Bond news, especially when we don't have a movie in the theaters to support what we're talking about. And it's the content. You know, I have to tell you, after 1,000 videos, I still love every video that I put out. I do get quite a lot of people saying, hey, David, I'd like to make a request. I want you to have this person on, or do that, or would you please review? And I so appreciate that and never, ever stop doing that. But ultimately, I'm an N of 1. It's just me. There is no committee deciding on what I'm going to do or not do. And I have to create the content that I want to create. Otherwise, it's not going to come across as authentic, genuine. You won't hear this type of excitement. You'll be like, all right, I'm here to talk to you about this pamphlet. It's just not true. So I've got to be true to myself. And a part of that is turning this video into a little bit of a bookend. You see, one of the videos or series of videos that put the Bond Experience on the map. And by the way, that's a terminology I get asked in a lot of different interviews. What turned your channel into, oh, isn't that adorable, to the #1 Bond fan channel today? And a big part of that was reviewing this, the Billy Reid SKYFALL Peacoat. Now this harkens back to quite a long time ago, 2012 to be exact, so more than 12 years ago, when we all went bananas trying to discover what was that peacoat that we see Bond wearing in the trailers for Skyfall. And we discovered that it was Billy Reid, and I scoured the world, found one that wasn't in my size that I had to get tailored, but I had it tailored by the person that tailored it for Daniel Craig through Billy Reid. There was this whole series of videos. You know something? Let's take a quick sneak peek way back, a little bit of a throwback since this is a celebration of 1,000 videos, back to 2012.
Hello, David Zaritsky for James Bond Lifestyle Video Podcast. Welcome back. You can think of this video podcast as part 2 to our Skyfall jacket video, which seems to be a very popular one. Now, at the end of that last podcast, there was a bit of a tease. I was describing this little beauty right here, the peacoat that James Bond is seen wearing in Skyfall that you actually see in the trailers. But I didn't mention the brand name. Of course, all of you astute clothing detectives out there found out very quickly that it's Billy Reid. Probably from the leather accents, from the lapel. It wasn't that hard, and within probably 24 hours of the video podcast, the Billy Reid name was splashed all about. But then people realized how difficult it was to find this. And then we also found out, sure enough, the Billy Reid company has humans behind it. Individuals that are Bond fans as well. And, well, less than a week later, there's a short special edition, 150 of these jackets being made. But here it is. Here it is. It's almost like Christmas morning. Maybe better. I don't know. We'll find out. But obviously, sitting on my doorstep was the Billy Reid box. Much anticipated. So why don't we take a look together at what's in the box. And it comes at a really good time, too. Alright, so not a ton of pomp and circumstance. We've got obviously a plastic bag here, but that's not really what we're interested in. That is what we're interested in. Here is the Billy Reid Skyfall coat. Really made by you. You know, a lot of people have been given credit. I do want to give Graham Hurd a lot of credit for Billy Reid. I know this was a passion project of his, and a bunch of people online and some really good detectives to find out the original coat. But in reality, it was the cry from all of you that had this coat created, or recreated as we should say. This is actually the first one off the line, and we're going to show you some close-up details of this. Feels good, by the way. But this one is actually signed by Billy Reid, the designer. I think, you know, we made a request for him to do that, but from what Graham said, he was happy to do that, especially off the line. And why don't we do some fit pics? So this is, and you can tell I'm wearing a jumper and a shirt and everything like that, and great pants. I'm trying to replicate the Shanghai pic as much as possible, but this is a medium. So I am a size 40, 41 on a really good workout day, and 32 and a half waist. So just to give you an idea, and this fits perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly. It's I've got room in the chest, quite frankly. I can put a scarf in here. It's not binding at all, and you can see it's not pinching anywhere. If I put my hands in the pocket, it's got a really good taper, as a matter of fact. You can kind of see from the side shots. The arms, not too long. I can grasp something like a steering wheel, perhaps, and they're not flying up like arms, but they're also not gorilla arms like some of the other jackets that we've had. Now he pops his collar, as do I sometimes, to show kind of the leather on the back, but we'll get into those details. All in all, I would say this is an incredible fit. The wool feels perfect. It's a deep navy, and the reason I want to say it's a deep navy is sometimes to the eye it can appear almost black, but you can see a blue hue to it, if you will. It photographs bluish, just like deep navy tuxedos do. But I'm extremely happy. The thing is, though, let's get some detailed shots. Just, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to try this out really in the weather. As I look outside, I just don't know if Pennsylvania is the right place for this, but maybe there's better trading grounds for something like this.
Oh yeah, lots of excitement. So I wound up doing a short run with Billy Reid of this Peacoat, and then what really made an impact was wearing this throughout London as a bit of a test trial, in the wild type moment with the Billy Reid Peacoat. And the review sort of went like this.
David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and as you can tell from the Tower Bridge in the background, we're in London, and as promised, didn't feel right in Bucks County, Pennsylvania to test out the Billy Reid jacket. No, this deserves a real test, the London weather. It's been drizzly, it's been cold. Let's see how this thing holds up. I mean, in reality, you can tell it's a fashionable jacket. You can see it in the Shanghai scenes. You can see Daniel Craig wearing it on the streets. But I mean, a real peacoat, a real wool peacoat should be buttoned at the button. Because we're fashion mavens, we do it like this. But let's see how it holds up under the rigors of getting wet and staying warm. We're going to try it right here in London. This is the Bond Experience. Well, here in front of world-famous Harrods, which obviously featured very prominently in The Living Daylights. But we're here today to look at the Skyfall exhibits, windows, and things. They sell almost about everything that you could want in Harrods, except for one thing, and that's the Billy Reid jacket. Folks, this is it. This is the next generation of the Billy Reid jacket. And because of this, we're going to give it its trial. So it's a drizzly, cool day in London. We're putting it through its paces. So far, so good. You can see some of the touches on here, the leather back, and also the leather pieces as well. Very, very, very true to the original in all its form. By the way, this is a medium, so you can see the different fit of this. It's very slight, it's very fitted in the back. That being said, you still can fit a jumper under here or anything, probably about 2 or 3 layers. So those of you who are kind of wondering mediums versus large, I think you were probably true to size. I hope you were. Well, test is going very well. I spent most of the day in this. It's doing a little bit more than drizzling. It's cold, but I wouldn't know it. The wool is holding up really well. It feels great. I'm sure it's going to rebound once I dry it off properly, but we're in a very special place right now. So the coat has traveled with us all the way to the Royal Albert Hall, and this is actually where the premiere is going to be on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you'll be joining us. Of course, we'll be in black tie and not a Billy Reid coat, but we're really looking forward to it. We're going to explore, but I think it's going to look a little different on Tuesday. We'll take a look. Well, we're here in front of Big Ben in Parliament, second day of punishment for the Billy Reid coat. So last night we came back drenched, like a good wool coat. You want to pat it dry. I hung it up in a very dry place. It was warm, but not too warm. And it's held up well. Some of the lesser wool coats out there will sometimes have a kind of a rank smell. There was no dye run, no rank smell. Now I will say, as part of fair balance, wool in general, it takes a certain breaking in, so if you have a sensitivity to it, rubbing up against your face, it's going to take a little time. This is starting to soften up even after the second day, which is very good. But this is a heavier weight wool. I'm finding it's about the low 50s, mid 50s. It's good, it's not too warm. Think anything warmer and it'd be a little crazy, but so far so good. Well, we're back successfully from England. A lot of videos around that coming soon, and the jacket held up really well. Extremely happy with it. Lots of compliments. Lots of people actually recognizing it, not just fans, which was really cool. I don't know. If you've been able to get one of these, I think it's going to be an heirloom piece. It's one of those jackets and scenes in Skyfall that you really remember. It's without giving too much away, as a spoiler alert, it's almost like a Blade Runner type scene, but still very Bond at the same time. And I've always been a fond advocate of peacoats, always looking to renew my peacoat, and this was a great way to do it because it's Bond related. Anyway.
Yeah, so my My excitement was so genuine. The review, basic but authentic, that it created a spark. This is the spark that we sort of still feel today whenever we engage or do an unboxing or a review of some of the brands, for example, that I'm even wearing right now. And that really propelled people to go out and buy the coat. And this is what I mean by sort of putting it on the map, especially the brand maps. In the time that I posted that video that you just saw, they sold at Billy Reid about 800 coats. They had different factory runs. And if you do the math of how much a Billy Reid Peacoat costs, multiplied by how many Bond fans purchased it off of that video review, you can see that there was something pretty engaging, pretty impactful, and a bit transactional there. And that's it. That's exactly what sort of put it on the map, because other brands started to realize, well, hold on a second, this is pretty amazing, and it's very authentic. Nobody's putting words in my mouth. There's a genuine Bond fan excitement of somebody living the James Bond lifestyle that's engaged with our coat. Now that could have been the end of the story, and the Bond Experience channel turned into this quasi style, lifestyle, location, book club, and it became very multidimensional. If you look at the 1,000 videos and you look at my playlists, then you'll see that this has a lot of facets, like a diamond, diamonds are forever. But Billy Reid continued to evolve just like the Bond Experience continued to evolve with their coats. And I wanted to show you a little bit of that evolution today as part of the celebration, because quite frankly, I have a lot of thanks and deference to Billy Reid, because this coat right here really did launch the Bond Experience into something very different. First of all, this is the 100% wool from the original run. However, this right here is amongst the newest run. Now the difference is this is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and that is because this has a better wear and tear factor on it than the 100% wool, which can sometimes get a little bit of pilling to it. It's still a wonderful coat. I wear this one from time to time, but this one can be a little bit hardier. The interior of the coat itself has still the trappings of the original one, which is no lining. No lining. And I know a lot of people say, well, hold on a second, no lining, don't you get cold? Folks, this is a very thick wool, and I'm not going to button the interior button right now, but it's a very thick wool, so you don't get cold. There we go. Look familiar, right? It hasn't changed its lines. It still keeps up with the wonderful lines that everybody's used to. It's got the leather collar. They've changed the color of the collar, the pestle and the vessel is they changed it from time to time. It's gone from like a dark, crackly brown to a lighter brown to a black, which this one is right now. But you can see armholes still very thin, very fitted, very high. The silhouette on this is very flattering. It depends on the size. I mean, I can still fit a sweater underneath this. In fact, I'm wearing an NPL sweater right now. It's easy to layer under here depending on the size that you need. And as always, it's become a part of my channel. Maybe I do it out of like 500 out of 1,000 videos so far. This is a size small, and I am a size 41-42 with a 31-inch waist, just to give you an idea. But again, that flattering look that Bond has is still maintained, and it can be seen and worn on any body type. That's the nice thing about this peacoat, and actually just peacoats in general. They are extremely flattering to almost everyone. Now, that could have been it, right? They made some adjustments to the cloth, that would have been fine. But no, because the peacoat style is so famous now at this point, such a staple, they came out with this. Now I'm going to get up close and personal with this. First, brush off some of this. This gets worn a lot, so that's why folks, that hand that you're seeing, that is cashmere. This is a cashmere James Bond Peacoat. You could see the dark brown in the back. And I did a photo session with this years ago for the Billy Reid online journal. This was their magazine that they would have come out, that they focused on different individuals, different artists and content creators. And yeah, because of these videos, they did a photo shoot with me in New York. This gets worn throughout the winter. And cashmere is not only hardy, it's extremely durable. Let me get up and close and personal. Look at that neckline. Now this has been well trained. You can tell. It's just kind of moves with me. I've got the collar, and I do the Bond thing. I flip up the collar so you can see the leather. That is by taste. It's not quite the polo thing, but look at this. Look at the way this fits beautifully. This has built in and broken in over time. And that is the one thing I will say with all of these Peacoats. Their break-in period is half the fun and half the journey. Kind of like the Bond Experience channel. The break-in period, once you get used to it as a viewer or an audience, gets better and better as we get to know each other. Same with these jackets. Now, the blue cashmere would have been great because it follows the line of this dark navy and the navy of this one. However, Billy Reid didn't sit on their laurels, did they? Nope. What did they do? They said, hold my beer. I'm going to have another jacket, cashmere again, but this is going to be a beige. So this is the beige one. And again, had a wonderful photo opportunity with them on Bond Street. And that is the one aspect that gets mistaken from time to time about the Billy Reid Bond Peacoat. Everybody thinks, oh, the Bond Peacoat, surely it's named after James Bond and Skyfall. It actually was named off of Bond Street in New York because that's where the original Billy Reid store was. It's not anymore, but it was there that Daniel Craig had acquired this, and there's whole discussions of whether did he acquire it in Alabama, did he acquire it in New York. From what I hear from the powers that be, it was in Alabama that he acquired it. So this is the beige one. And I want you to take a look at this because this is the one that I'll tie with a pair of navy chinos, for example. It goes with almost everything. Gray slacks, as you can see. It's got that wonderful silhouette, but it is the cashmere hand that is everything. I'm not a tickle me Elmo, as far as I'm concerned, but there are so many people that will just brush up against this casually and go, whoa, what is that? The hand of this is so unusual. And I wouldn't say, if I'm being authentic, and I have to be, I wouldn't say it's as warm as the original, which is that thick, hardy, you could dump me overboard in the cold Atlantic Ocean type wool. This is probably best in anywhere from 48 to like 60 degrees Fahrenheit would be your perfect amount. Well, then they started to create more and more, and they started to get a little fancy. And one of the coats that they sent me not too long ago was this one. Now this is the Bond Peacoat in black. So now we're changing up some colors again, but they tied it with a very luxurious fur collar. This is so you could flip it up. You could be a little bit warmer in it. It still has that thick wool. So this wool, even though it's black, has the same thickness as the one that you see from Skyfall. It's unlined like everyone else, except it has this fur collar. Very unusual, very nice. You can flip it up with a fur collar, flipping it up sometimes. I've done it before. It's a little bit too much for me, so I'm going to keep it down like this right now, but you can see, again, it's got that really hardy, look how thick that wool is. And extremely flattering for some reason. It could be just here. This was, to me, a more cosmopolitan type offering, this more of a country and city look, but this to me is just a little bit more of a city look, a little bit more high style. and high fashion, and it gets a decent amount of wear from me, but typically I do take off the collar and just wear it as a black peacoat. So that leads us back to today, right? So in the evolution of the SKYFALL Peacoat, amongst the journey, and I couldn't collect all the peacoats, otherwise my entire closet would be Billy Reid Peacoats. They've been so generous as it is, but they've had canvas peacoats. They've had peacoats that are like raincoats and they're waxed. They've had cotton ones for the spring-summer transition. They've really gone the added distance. However, I'm here to say they've come out with one of my favorites this year, and it's available now. And I had to show it off to you, and they sent it to me as part of this wonderful celebration of 1,000 videos bookending Billy Reid. And this is the one right here. It is camel hair. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, so camel hair, we'll get up nice and close, is an extremely luxurious and soft. It's like the cashmere. It's got a slightly different hand because the cashmere has a longer yarn to it, all right? Now keep that in mind when I say that, because with that longer yarn of the cashmere, you get a very different pile and look and therefore hand, whereas the camel hair, still training the collar, that's how new this is. The camel hair has a little bit more professional, more buttoned up. Camel hair coats are very well regarded and very well known. In fact, Pierce Brosnan wore a Brioni one in Tomorrow Never Dies when he's waiting for his Hertz rental car from Q Branch. Remember the scene? Yeah. So camel hair is not unknown to Bond, but now we've got the Bond peacoat in camel hair. See how that happens? I love this. This is a size small, so I'm keeping with my sizing, size small, size small, size small, and it fits me very well, meaning it's not too tight on me. It's not shrink wrapped. This will also give a little bit. And there's something about camel hair and cashmere you should know is that the more you wear it, the more you stick your hands into the hand warmer pockets or adjust things or just keep buttoning and just even wearing it in a car where you're just kind of bringing up your arms and your hands, things will move and adjust to you, but not overly. It's not going to grow a half size or certainly not a size, but it will give and become more comfortable. And that's the amazing thing of the journey of this peacoat. This will just become more comfortable and more a part of my form and who I am. Let's check out the silhouette a little bit. Standing up nice and straight, David. It's like you've learned after 1,000 videos. I learned how to stand up straight. I used to literally hunch like this when I tried on things. And then when I'd watch myself in the video, I'm like, David, nice and straight. Be proud of yourself. That, and also pronouncing Daniel Craig's name correctly. Daniel Craig, not Daniel Craig. It's not Craig, it's not Greg. Craig. Daniel Craig. See, I've evolved too, just like the peacoat. I am digging this so much. So thank you, Billy Reid, for sticking with me for 1,000 video journey right up until the 1,000th video. I needed, I felt compelled, if you will, that you've kicked off my journey in such an auspicious way that I wanted to have you here as a part of the celebration. Makes sense. When I take a moment to think about 1,000 videos, a lot of thoughts go through my head, mostly around the individuals that helped to make this happen. The people that either were very supportive, obviously my family and friends, but also the amazing, amazing queue of individuals that I've had on this show, that have made the show what it is. The guests that I've had, both Bond alumni, all the way through to authors and other content creators and people that I've built a relationship with over time that I call friends. I vacation with these people. I go on locations with these individuals. I speak to them on a daily basis. It's become so much more than some cold YouTube channel. It's become a part of this community. And I always say, you know, there's a bond community. It's a real thing. And as I think about it, I look at my channel as a collection of memories of the bond community, both with myself and by myself, but then the best of times, the best videos, some of my favorite debates, if you will, are with others in the bond community. So I want to thank everybody that have either touched this through participation or observation, or who will touch it in the future. You could touch it. You could touch it if you want. There it comes. I can't stop myself. But let's talk about the future, because we're heading into 2025, or if you're maybe watching this video, we're already there. And I'm looking at the calendar for next year, and there is no slowing down. There are so many different events and celebrations and things with Bond. Yes, even without a known movie right now, that I am so excited about. And the Bond Experience channel and I will be there throughout the whole thing, bringing it to you, and hopefully even doing it with you. That's the best part, is when you suddenly move from participant to collaborator. See, I work things out with you. I'm not going to edit that. It's part of my brand. Anyway, thank you again. 1,000 videos. Maybe what I'll do is at the end of this, I'll make a recommendation to actually watch one of those videos based on what you watch. I don't know, it could happen. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you hopefully for another 1,000 more videos. We'll see you very soon. Take care. Thanks for watching the Bond Experience. If you like what you saw, why don't you subscribe to the channel by clicking this button right here. We'll keep you up on everything new that's happening in the world of Bond. And speaking of something new, here's something new just for you, because we know you so well. Talk to you soon.